Chapter 4. Kamsa begins his persecutions. Devaki, on seeing her brother approaching, prayed in a very meek attitude to Kamsa, "My dear brother, please do not kill this female child. I promise that this child will be the wife of your son. Therefore, don't kill her. You're not to be killed by any female child. The omen was that you're to be killed by a male child. So please do not kill her. My dear brother, you have killed so many of my children who were just born, shining like the sun. This is not your fault. You have been advised by demonic friends to kill my children. But now I beg you to excuse this girl at least. Let her live as my daughter." So Kamsa forcefully grabbed the newborn child to rebuke his sister and attempted to dash her on a stone mercilessly. But the child immediately slipped out of his hands, went up into the sky, and appeared with 8 arms as the younger sister of Vishnu. Kamsa was speaking to his brother-in-law, and his sister, and he got tears flow from his eyes, and he fell down at their feet, believing the words of Durga Devi, whom he had tried to kill. Kamsa immediately released his brother-in-law and sister. He personally unlocked the iron shackles and very sympathetically showed his friendship for his family members. So when Devaki saw her brother so repentant, she also became pacified and forgot all his bad activities against her children. Chapter 5. The meeting of Nanda and Vasudeva. Nanda Maharaj called for learned astrologers and brahmanas to perform the birth ceremony. After the birth of a child, the astrologers calculate the moment of the birth and make horoscope of the child's future life. Nanda Maharaj distributed to the brahmanas 200,000 cows which were well decorated with cloth and ornaments. He gave the brahmanas not only cows in charity but also hills of grain decorated with ornaments and golden bordered cloth. As soon as they heard that Mother Yashoda had given birth to a child, as soon as the Vrajavasis heard, all the cowherd women became overwhelmed with joy, and they also dressed themselves with various kinds of costly garments and ornaments and smeared scented cosmetics on their bodies. So in Vrindavan, the wealth was in milk, yogurt, clarified butter, and many other milk products, and by trading their agricultural products, they were rich in various kinds of jewelry, ornaments, and costly garments. Not only did they possess all these things, but they could give them away in charity lavishly, as did Nanda Maharaj. So Nanda Maharaj was worshipping Lord Vishnu on this occasion and was trying to satisfy all the people there. His only desire was that the newborn child, Krishna, would be happy. Nanda Maharaj had no knowledge that this child was the origin of Vishnu, and he was praying to Lord Vishnu to protect him. From the opulence of the birth ceremony of Krishna, it is very clear that at the time Vrindavan was very rich in every respect, because Lord Krishna took birth in the house of King Nanda and Mother Yashoda. The goddess of fortune was obliged to manifest her opulences in Vrindavan. It appeared that Vrindavan had already become a site for the pastimes of the goddess of fortune. So after the birth ceremony, Nanda Maharaj decided to go to Mathura to pay the annual tax to the government of Kamsa. When Nanda Maharaj arrived in Mathura, Vasudeva got the news and was very eager to congratulate his friend, anxious about his 2 sons, who had been put under the protection of Nanda without Nanda's knowledge. Vasudeva inquired about them with great anxiety. Both Balram and Krishna were the sons of Vasudeva. Balram was transferred to the womb of Rohini, Vasudeva's own wife, but Rohini was kept under the protection of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna was personally delivered to Yashoda in exchange for her daughter. Nanda Maharaj knew that Balram was the son of Vasudeva, but he did not know that Krishna was also Vasudeva's son. Vasudeva said, "Oh, my dear friend, it is very difficult for us to live together. Although we have our family and relatives, sons and daughters, by nature's way, we are generally separated from one another." Although he had 8 sons born in the womb of Devaki, unfortunately they were all gone. He could not even keep his one son Krishna with him. Vasudeva was feeling very separation, but he could not express the real fact. "Please tell me about the welfare of Vrindavana. He said, "You have many animals. Are they happy? Are they getting sufficient grass and water? Please also let me know whether the place where you are now living is undisturbed and peaceful." This inquiry was made by Vasudeva because he was very anxious about Krishna's safety. It is also significant that Vasudeva inquired about the welfare of Nanda Maharaj's animals. The animals, and especially the cows, were protected exactly in the manner of one's children. Vasudeva was a Kshatriya and Nanda Maharaj was a Vaishya. It is the duty of a Kshatriya to give protection to the citizens, and it is the duty of the Vaishyas to give protection to the cows. Nanda Maharaj replied, "O my dear Vasudeva, I know that you are very much aggrieved, very sad, because the cruel king Kamsa has killed all your sons born of Devaki. Although the last child was a daughter, Kamsa could not kill her, and she was entered into the celestial planets. My dear friend, do not be sad. We are all being controlled by our past unseen activities." After the friendly conversation between Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva, Vasudeva returned to his home. Nanda Maharaj and other cowherd men who had come to Mathura to pay their taxes also returned home.